How's it going? I'm CS Cooper, and I'm going to show off a new plugin for Godot that I'm working on today. It's called Dialogy. The idea of this is you can build cutscenes in a game using a directed flowchart. So let's get into it. As you can see here, we've got our little player character here, the knight, and if I hit go, you'll see here he can run around, but we've got little Zero, Mega Man Zero here, doesn't really do much. He's just a non-player character. So let's add some stuff to it. We're going to add a child node. We're calling it a Dialogy scene. So you type in Dialogy scene, and there it is. We're going to add it. Let's call it activation behavior so that the script, the NPC script, will be able to detect it. And we're going to call it test. Now, the only property here is the scene name, which is mainly just for debugging purposes. And we've also got the scene fields. I'll explain what that is in a minute. You'll see here the scene is empty. We've only got the start node, so we want to, let's make Zero say something, okay? So we say Dialogy dialogue, and this creates a dialogue node. What this is going to do is it's going to say hello. So we'll say the event, the dialogue event is named say hello, and we're going to give the speaker name Zero. And there's a face image associated with it. Let's give it this one right here that's in our list. I'll show you what it looks like. That guy. So that's going to be our thing. And then we put the face image here and say, hello, I am Zero. I am here to demonstrate the Dialogy scene edit. Hope you like it. Now, don't worry about this setting, dialog box scene to use, or the additional parameters. I'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so let's save our tree. We can walk up to him. Hello, I am Zero. I am here to demonstrate the Dialogy editor. I hope you like it. You see, if you notice, let's play it again. You hit enter and Zero appears on the left hand side, but he's actually to the right of the player. Doesn't really make sense. That's where the additional parameters comes in. So we'll go back to our inspector, speaker location, and we're going to give it a string, and we're going to say it's on the right. Go and talk to him, and as you can see now, he appears on the right. This is a way you can customize some of the behavior. I can even put him in the center if you'd like. And he's in the center. Okay, so that's not all Dialogy can do out of the box. Say you want to, your character says, do you want to do this or that, right? You want to have that kind of event in your cutscene. So we create a Dialogy choice node. We hook it in. We'll call it. Okay, now it looks mostly the same as the dialog box, but so we can just add in the same thing. What would you like me to do? So, and then we'll add some selections. Now notice I just added an element, and now we've got an output. We'll add another element, we've got another output. So let's just so each output requires text to show in the output button. So we're going to say, let's make it a string text. I'm going to make this a string. We're going to say, what would you like me to do? Say hello again. to add another one saying repeat what you just told me. Oh, just said to me. I'm going to set that. Oh, hang on. Copy that. Needs to be text. String. You just said to me. Okay, so now we've got two selections. Okay, so now we have two outputs, and whichever event you drag it to will be the direction in which it goes based on the selection. So if we get selection 1, we're going to say call it outcome 1, and it's going to be the same thing, 0, 0, and again. And let's put him on the right again. Add the key value pair. Now you don't really have to add a selection. You don't have to add an event after the select 2. You can just leave it as is. Hello, I am Zero. I am here to demonstrate the Dialogy scene editor. I hope you like it. What would you like me to do? And you see now we've got our selections. Say hello again and repeat what you just said to me. And you can use the arrow keys. So let's say hello again. There you go. Let's try it again. What would you like me to do? Now let's select the other one. Now it just ends because you haven't given any events after it. So let's go back here to Dialogy and let's give another outcome. Repeat what you just told me. That's what this one says. Okay, so what if we want it to just jump right back here? We don't want to have to copy this and put it out here. What if we want it to jump right back here? Well, we can do that, and away you go. Repeat what you just told me. There you go. What would you like me to do? So it goes in a loop now. So you can make loops with this thing. But this doesn't look very good, does it? It doesn't look very legible or easy to read. Something that allows you to make really nice clean graphs in this is shortcuts. So I've just said new shortcut, the new shortcut button right here, and what we've got are two nodes, the jump to and the jump from. So I'll put the jump from up here and I'll link it in there, and then I'll link this one here. And so jump to, jump 0 will go to jump number 0. Simple. And now you've got a really nice looking graph. Okay, so what if you want your scene to remember past activations? Okay, so say for example, we've talked to the guy already, and then we want him to say something different based on whether or not you've already talked to him. Okay, so there's the set field. First, we want to go, if you want to edit the Dialogy object, the root Dialogy object, you click on the start node, or you can click on it in the scene graph. And we go to the scene fields, and this is where you can add fields that the scene will remember during the persistence of the overall Godot level. So we're going to say spoken to. We're going to set that as a boolean, and we're going to leave it as false. There you go, we've got a spoken to field. Now in our event graph, we're going to say a set field. We're going to drag it in. We're going to call it mark spoken. And we're going to say spoken to. Call it on, and we're going to set that. Yep. And now we can run it. Hello, I am Zero. Who are you? I am Skelly. As you can see, I have a skull for a head. Now we don't know because it still says the same thing regardless. We need this thing to act based on the value of the field. So let's go back to our scene graph, and we're going to go to check field, and we're going to create a check field event. And we're going to make this the first event in our sequence. I'm going to say has spoken. The idea is spoken to equals true. Now, if it is equal to true, then we do something else. But if we haven't spoken to them, then there you go. We do this original graph. But if we have spoken, we need to create some more events. So let's say new event, spoken to. Spoken. You already spoke to me, eh? And we're going to put him on the right. Speaker location. The bool on the... No, not bool. We want a string. Right. And we're going to add that. Okay. Now let's see what happens now. Hello, I am Zero. Who are you? I am Skelly. As you can see, I have a skull for a head. Okay, we've spoken to him. Now let's see what he says. You already spoke to me, mate. And that's how you can direct flow in your scenes, in your cutscenes. There's also a way. There is also a way to recognize. Let's see. So see here. He's to the right of the player, so he appears on the right. The character is on the left, so he appears on the left. But what if we jump over? He's on the wrong direction. So what we can do, we can have two different graphs. This is the Dialogy switch. And the switch, what this does is it checks a value. You can use it to run an expression on any node in the scene graph. So within the night script, there is a function, a element that says, property, sorry, that says facing left. And if it's true, you're facing left. If it's false, you're facing right. So if you're facing left, if it's equal to true, check player direction. Okay, then we'll create different Dialogy events based on where the character is. So if he's facing left, then we need to put the player character on the left and the NPC on the right. So we'll do that. See, he's on the left, so he speaks from the left. See, he's on the right, so he speaks from the right. Now, to be clear, this isn't the best way to do that kind of thing, but I'm doing this to demonstrate the ability Dialogy has with the switch block to check a value within another node and use it to direct a particular scene graph. You can use this to identify if the player has a certain thing in its inventory. and you use that to direct the scene graph, or a certain amount of money, you use it to direct the scene graph. Okay, so there's another thing I'd like to demonstrate here, which is that the dialog box can store a very large amount of text and stream through it automatically. So we'll start this up and we'll go and talk to him. This is a very long piece of dialogue. I'm using it to demonstrate the dialog box abilities. If you notice the dialog box scene to use parameter in the inspector, you can see it right here. I shall explain. The Dialogy plugin comes with a default UI scene, which is very basic. You can create your own dialog box and choice box scenes by implementing the abstract class Dialogy dialog box or Dialogy choice box. You can even build the scene in the Godot editor. So if we go to the code, this, make sure you can see it, this is the abstract class for the Dialogy dialog box. And you need to, so there's signals for when it appears and when it disappears. You need to make sure that what you implement fires those signals at the appropriate times. Then we have the set dialog object, set dialog method, the set speaker name method, and the speaker image method. And the ability to set additional parameters, like as you see here, as you see in the, hang on, here, the additional parameters, like the speaker's location. And then you have your show method right there. Now, what you need to do is you need to create a scene, or you could do it all in code if you wanted to, but you create a scene where you specify the way your dialog box looks. It's also possible for you to create your own events. So you simply create a new class that inherits from Dialogy event, and you have these abstract methods that you need to overload. So the first thing you need to overload is the next event. This determines which event you need to provide. So for example, with the choice box, this method will work out which of the next events, which are automatically, it's in the background, it's automatically determined what the next events are in a list, and then you simply return which event is supposed to be the next one based on what the player selected in their choice box. Get configuration errors. If there's certain elements of your event that need to be configured properly, you check that, and if in here you check that. If there's no errors, then away you go. Initialize. This is used to prepare the event, load any resources that are needed as it's inserted into the scene tree. And then when your event is about to start, the previous event is finished, a frame has happened, and then the next event begins to start. This is called when your event is about to start, and for example in the dialog box, on event start would invoke the dialog box to be displayed. The frame process your event. Here's an example where if say you wanted to move one of your characters in your cutscene, right? Then the frame process would be where you check to see if the character has reached the destination that you wanted it to be in. And if it has, then you return true. If it's not, if the event should proceed, if the event is still ongoing, you return false. And then on event finished, you free up any resources, like you queue the dialogue scene to free up in the next frame. That's what you do in event finished. So it's really not that hard to create your own events. And when you have created your own event, it automatically shows up in this checklist down here. So I hope you found that interesting. I'm going to continue working on this little plugin. I'm also going to start developing a state machine plugin at some point. I might call it Stateology. And this should be available for download soon if it's not already, but there's a few things I just want to polish off in it, but I hope you enjoyed this presentation.